Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another very inquisitive video in regards to what may or may not be going on around us. Let me adjust the camera here. What I've done is I've decided to make this video from a different location. Typically, and I'll admit it, I like to showcase the beauty of my property in the backdrop of these videos because it's beautiful. And I spend a lot of time making it look beautiful. I single-handedly am caretake for this property. It's 6 acres. But I want us to be able to see the skyline because, okay, there's Drunken Santa. You see, remember Drunken Santa from the video a couple of days ago? People were talking about how, there we go, we got more skyline there. Because you never know what may or may not show up in the skies back here anymore. People were talking about the Santa in that video I made a few days back where I first explained the experience my wife and I had with whatever's going on up there. This Santa was just falling down and getting back up and falling down and getting back up. And people were like, is Santa drunk or what's going on with Santa? If memory serves correctly, there was no wind that day. So I do want us to use Santa as a gauge of weirdness. As you can see, Santa currently is not flopping around. There's no wind. Here's our home. Got the neighbor's farm across the road, but we've got a pretty big view of the sky up here. So keep your eyes on the sky while I share a couple more anomalies with you. According, you see the headline there about abductions and a plasmoid caught on trail cam. I'm going to talk about the second thing first and then the first thing second, or I'm going to forget to do this. First of all, take a look at this picture. This is the actual plasmoid I caught on my trail cam on November 9th of this year. Have a look. Okay, now I showed you the picture so you'll know what I'm getting ready to talk about. And once I'm finished talking about it, I'm going to put that picture up there again so you don't have to rewind. If you hear something interesting while I'm talking about this, you won't have to stop and rewind. Just hear me out, and then when the image comes up again, pause it and take a longer look if you want. So here's the deal with that image. A lot of folks have been saying I talk too much, so I'm going to try to give you the 2 minutes or less version. So this would have been, I guess, the early hours of November 7th of this year. It's Christmas Eve right now as of this recording, so Merry Christmas. I woke up around 3:30ish a.m. and I had to go to the restroom, so I did. I walked to our bathroom, and as you can see, we have a very large, very private property. We don't have curtains in that window where the downstairs restroom is because you see like 100 yards worth of yard and then you hit woods. So I'm standing there doing my business, and I see that's a squirrel. Listen, if we hear any odd sounds or see any strange things, I will tell you what they are if I know what they are. What you're hearing over there, that's just a squirrel. I saw about 80 yards away from the house, getting ready to enter the woods and go up a trail, the actual trail I'm standing on that I've created and kept mowed down on the top portion of our property. I saw what appeared to be a fluorescent jellyfish going like this through the backyard. That's what it looked like. And you just saw the image, so you can see, it looks like a fluorescent jellyfish. I was like, that's weird. And I thought, I must be dreaming. This is like a very lucid dream. I'm still half awake, half asleep, whatever. Finished my business, went back to bed. Never thought anything more of it until 2 days later. I'm going around the property, checking the trail cams and security cameras. We've got them everywhere. I mean, by the time I left the house and got up here, I've been photographed and videoed at least half a dozen times, maybe more. So I'm checking the trail cameras. And again, since it's like almost middle November, we have a lot of deer around here. The bucks were going in the rut. I get excited over seeing some of the monster bucks that are around here. I mean, they're huge and they usually only come out at night. And I'm going through the images, and there's that fluorescent jellyfish. I'm like, WTF? It wasn't a dream. So I actually made a video about it, and I did a live stream last night that lasted for just a little more than an hour. And during that hour, we had more than 11,000 of you visit the live stream, and thousands upon thousands of you chimed in. So we will be doing that more often going forward, at least a couple evenings a week. FYI. And I will slow down the chat. I had some people tell me that if I slow down the comments coming in, I can address more of them and folks can interact more. So we're going to do that. So during that chat last night, that live stream, people were talking about the plasmoids and people getting images of them. And for some reason, I remembered that image I got on the trail cam because I did make a video about it. And I explained what happened. I had this lucid dream, but then somehow, because I was like, did something come out of my dream? Did something slip through the veil? I didn't know how to explain it. And now that we see all this stuff going on with the drones and the plasmoids, it makes sense. So what happens is I actually managed to capture one of the first plasmoids photographed. More squirrels are chasing each other up trees. I caught one on my trail cam here in Central Virginia before people were even talking about these things in New Jersey. And forgive me for my mumbled, slurred speech. It is 28 degrees out here. As of right now, it's like 9:15 a.m. It'll take me an hour or so after this is done to upload it. It's cold, but still I wanted to come out. So that's the story behind the plasmoid. Is it possible that we caught one of the first ones seen and it wasn't reported because I didn't know what it was? So I'm going to show you that image again, and then I'm going to get into the issue of alien abductions because this is yet something else that at least social media seems to be wanting to cover up. But have another look at that plasmoid. All right. So there we have it. Second thing first. Now we're going to go to first thing second. Again, when these videos I've been making the last few days hit YouTube, within an hour to 3 hours, they're going gangbusters, and we're literally getting at times 500 comments a minute. So it's not that I'm not responding to all of them because I don't care. It's just that I can't. So what I've been trying to do is go through the comments that are being held for review because that's where the interest is, right? So I'm going to read one to you that was held for review. I caught it only 28 seconds after it was left. See, I just copy and paste this stuff straight from my laptop and straight from the comment section. This was, keep thinking I'm young, Alan Regnier. And you'll see that I caught it in only 28 seconds after he left the comment. I read it. There was nothing offensive, no foul language, no hate speech. Wasn't calling me a nana boo-boo. I approved it. So, and there's more to that story, but let me first read the comment, okay? So Alan writes, I am an ex-aerospace contractor, instrumentation technician who will fill you in. That's a pretty big title. I don't know what it means, but it sounds important. And I'm not being disrespectful. That just sounds like somebody that knows what they're talking about and is probably qualified to talk on this matter, okay? You can believe me if you want, okay? Just think of what you just described to us in this post. And what he's talking about is the first video I made, talking about how when my wife and I were sitting right there where Drunken Santa is at Hilltop Bar, we had our first experience. And then the second time I was back here just behind the house where this firewood is. We have some more firewood off camera. Most of the property you can't even see from here. But both times it's when we saw something, a light in the sky, and then when we saw it together, we were both sick for the next 3 days. The second time I saw it by myself, I was sick for the next 3 days. Okay, so that's what he's talking about, that post. He continues, I am pretty sure they took genetics from your wife from the way you described the encounter. I'm not sure if they did from you or not. You might want to see a therapist and a doctor for about what I'm about to tell you. It's pretty heavy, folks. Pay attention. The aliens have nanobots that can do microsurgery, which would run you down and you wouldn't realize what happened. A doctor can tell you if you have surgical cell damage by the enzymes in your body, like someone that has had a heart attack. The aliens can also take you unconsciously and do anything they want, and the only way you will know that this happened is if you can't account for lost time or through hypnosis. You might also experience nightmares. Okay, listen, when I talked to my buddy, and this isn't the end of it, there's more, but when I talked to my buddy, the other coach the other day, he was talking about a loss of time. And first thing I think of is Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. I'm like this, and before I had that conversation with the other coach, my buddy, I was unawares because I don't follow media and I don't follow pop culture. I disengage from that stuff because it makes me sad or angry, typically. All right? But I've been seeing in the comment sections tons of people talking about a loss of time. All right. And I have been having nightmares, FYI. And that's, well, it's another story. I do have PTSD from the war in Iraq, nightmares are not uncommon for me, but I've been having them more frequently. That's what I'll say. Okay. Okay. Now listen, Ancestry, like ancestry.com, where you can try to find your ancestors, might catch it in years to come, if assuming you have offspring as a result that get genetic traces done. I'm telling you, hear me out. I would check your family lines to see if any relative has had a trace done with hits that come to them within close matches, but ultimately a dead end with them being relatives only. This may not have been the first time this has happened to you and your wife, and you just don't realize it. Good luck. They can turn your life upside down, making it super complicated when doing this stuff. Just so both you and your wife realize that it might not be because of infidelity that new offspring may happen. What's he talking about? Does it sound like they may have taken our reproductive stuff and reproduced it? Yeah. Listen to the rest. I know, Alan writes, they almost ruined my marriage with my wife of 45 years that I still love as a result of what they did to me and an ex-fiance and ultimately to my wife. I learned in 2005 that I have another family I didn't know about when two twin orphans came to my office from the streets in California, finding me through Ancestry.com. I just hate to see any more innocent people get hurt that didn't ask for anything like this. I think I told you enough for you to help yourself. Good luck. Al. So folks, here's a guy, an ex-aerospace contractor instrumentation technician. A professional, an educated professional with experience in the trade who is talking about abduction and the unwilling reproduction of human beings as a result of that abduction. So I approved the comment again, and I wasn't judging the story because there's so much weird stuff going on. I don't think anybody has any answers right now, or at least those who do are being mum and hush about it. They're not sharing it with the rest of us. So I thought, So in the comments, okay, in the comment section of YouTube, as a creator, I can go into the comments and I can put in search terms, right? So I put in the term abduction and I hit enter, and this would pull up any comment made that was approved, that made it to the light of day, that is visible on the channel with the word abduction in it. And I've been to, actually, as a matter of fact, yesterday I got a notification from YouTube that yesterday was the 8th anniversary of this channel, Homesteading Off the Grid. For those of you who have been here with us for the long haul, thank you. Wow, who would have ever thought, right? Well, we hoped that it happened, and it's because of you, so we give you thanks. Nothing came up. And I'm like, wait a minute. So we've got unidentifiable drones, unidentifiable aerial phenomena, UFO, unidentified flying objects, got all this stuff. We've got these plasmoids, which again, going back to the beginning of this video, it looks like I may have captured one of the very first ones not reported on trail cam because I simply didn't know what I had on camera. I'm glad I saved that picture to my phone and didn't delete it. So why are there no more comments about alien abductions coming up? So again, I think, wait a minute. Social media seems to be wanting to hide some things here. And I made a video about that the other day, and a lot of you folks watched it. So I go back into the held for review comment section, and I put in the search bar the word abduction. I hit enter. Whew, more comments than I could field. So I'm thinking, wow, this isn't making sense. There's no way that everybody who left a comment about abduction used profanity, hate speech, was disrespectful to other users on the platform. There's just no way. Because listen, the numbers just wouldn't add up. It's all about numbers. And there's just no way that 100% of everybody who used a single word would have been insulting or violated all the social guidelines and community standards of this platform. So let's dig a little deeper. And I'm going to share with you now what I found once I did that digging. That digging basically involved just going through the comments to see what was said. So here's one. Mint Patty again, and look, it even tells you as of the time I copied and pasted this how long ago. Okay, I put on here edited. That's me. You'll see the others does not say edited. The only thing I edited out of this comment was punctuation. It wasn't foul language. I'm a writer and an editor, and it kind of comes as second nature to put commas where commas go and periods where run-on sentences. And I'm not trying to be a grammar Nazi here, but listen, this is what Mint Patty wrote. She says, and this is in regards to the video where I talked about my wife and my experiences down here. Thank you for the video. It seems that your body has been cleansed, but by what, I can't explain. I've seen alien creatures in my sleep scanning me. I can't prove it, and I felt sick for a few days and irritable with some anxiety, which is out of character for me. Blessings. No foul language, no hate speech, and she brings up another point, this whole concept of being irritable. I've been irritable for the last week, and I'm typically not irritable. I let stuff just flow over my head like water off a duck's back, because listen, I'm very emotionally intelligent. I choose my battles. Most of them aren't even worth considering. But I have been irritable since I've had this experience. Moving on to the next one. Pablito Pains, 4872. All right, see that? And this was from a couple days ago. So people, and I copied and pasted these last night. So it would have been 3 days ago by now. The last three are from 2 days ago. They were from that video. They're being held. And they were buried under thousands of comments that were being held. I'm going through there and trying to get what you guys are saying to see the light of day. But there's literally thousands, but I'm doing my best to get through them, okay? I might have to start making multiple videos a day. I want to know your thoughts on that. A lot of folks say I talk too much, get on with it, shut up, get off YouTube. But then some other folks are saying, will you please make more videos about this? I went live last night because folks were asking me to please go live, and I did, and 11,000 of you showed up during a period of an hour. It was great. But here's what this commenter writes. You should check your body for an implant. It is a neurolocomotor implant, very, very small, bioelectric, and you need a surgeon to remove it. You and your wife were abducted. Check for missing time or if you have, nightmares. And I've already talked about the nightmares. You seeing that thing hover is the only memory left that wasn't erased, and you are telling us. Were they supposed to have erased the memory of us seeing this thing hover? Loss of time. I don't know. I just don't know. Listen, let me tell you this. A lot of folks, they want to judge me, and I don't care because, hey, at least they're leaving someone else alone. I will not lie to you. Like I told you, that was a squirrel. There's Santa Claus. We can use him as a gauge. I admit it, I do have occasional nightmares because of my PTSD from my time in combat in Iraq. I'm not trying to pull any wool over your eyes, okay? So, it's starting to snow. You might not be able to see it, but can you hear it? It's like tiny little ice balls. Cool. All right, on with the show. Lean Woodworks writes, you may have been abducted. You will start to remember in a few months. That's all they said. You may have been abducted. You will start to remember in a few months. Where's the profanity? Where's the hate speech? Where's the disrespect to other users of the platform? There's none. And listen, there were so many comments. I just took half a dozen of them or so because I wanted to get my point across. Here's the last one I copied and pasted. Oh, they also said be careful. They said you'll remember in a few months, be careful. Next one, Becky Dietrich. Shout out to Becky Dietrich if you're watching. Were you possibly abducted, repressed memory. She's simply asking a question. She's not even, like the others claimed that I was, or I potentially was. She's not even saying I was or I might have been. She's just asking. And for some reason, this platform decided to hold that comment for review. So folks, there you have it. I want to hear from you in the comments section. And listen, if this word for some reason is being hidden from view, abducted, we're fixing to find out, as we say down here in the South. Because I want you to talk about your views of potentially folks being abducted during whatever's going on right now with the drones and the plasmoids. Let me know what you think of the plasmoid I caught on my trail cam just right down this trail within sight of where I'm standing. If it wasn't for that one eastern red cedar that's blocking the view. But right around that cedar is where that camera is. So that's it. That's all that was written for today. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank all of you for supporting the channel. If you're up to it, you can buy me a coffee down in the description box below, but you don't have to. Go buy yourself one if you'd rather. See you for more next time.